When you think of the internet, what's the first thing that pops into your head? A search bar? Maybe your social media feed? Well, the truth is, that's just the tiniest tip of a massive iceberg. Beneath all those familiar websites, there's a huge, hidden digital world. And in this explainer, we're going to explore the whole thing.
So, let me just ask you straight up. How much of the internet do you think you've really seen? I mean, even if you're online all day, every day, the answer is probably going to shock you.
Get this, standard search engines, the ones we all use, they can only find and index about 5% of the entire internet. That's it. The other 95% is totally invisible to a simple search. This is where that iceberg metaphor really clicks into place. Most of us are just splashing around that tiny visible tip.
Okay, so let's start at the top of that iceberg. This is the surface web. You can also call it the visible internet. Honestly, it's the part of the web that we all know and use pretty much constantly.
The surface web has a few key characteristics. For one, it's totally public. You don't need a password or any special permission to get to it. And crucially, its pages are indexed by search engines, which is just a fancy way of saying they're cataloged so you can find them. We're talking about news sites, public blogs, company homepages, Wikipedia. That's the surface web in a nutshell.
All right, now let's take a dive beneath the surface. Welcome to the deep web, also known as the private internet. This is that other 95% we were talking about, and it's time we cleared up some pretty big myths about it.
Okay, this is where we really need to cut through the noise. The number one myth about the deep web is that it's a scary, illegal place. But the reality, it's all about privacy. It's the part of the internet that's intentionally blocked from search engines to protect your personal, sensitive information.
And you know what? The deep web isn't some strange, far-off place. You use it every single day. Your email inbox? That's on the deep web. Your online banking portal? Yep, deep web. Your cloud storage? Your school's student portal? Your online medical records? All of that lives on the deep web, safe behind a login screen.
So here's the bottom line. If you have ever, even once, typed in a username and a password to get into a website, congratulations, you've used the deep web. See, it's not some shadowy corner of the internet. It's an absolutely essential part of your digital life that keeps your private stuff private.
So if the deep web is just for privacy, where does the notorious dark web fit into all this? Well, you can think of the dark web as a very small, very intentionally hidden corner of the deep web. Its main goal isn't just privacy. It's about complete and total anonymity. The real difference here is the technology. You can't just stumble onto the dark web by accident. You have to use special software, and the most famous one is the Tor browser. This software is built from the ground up to completely hide who you are and where you're connecting from.
The tech that makes this possible is often called onion routing, and it's a pretty clever name, actually. Your data gets wrapped in multiple layers of encryption, just like an onion. Then it's bounced through a random path of servers all over the world. Each server only peels off one layer of encryption to see where to send it next. The key is no single server knows both where you started and where you're going, and that's what makes it so hard to trace.
This brings us to a really critical point. The dark web technology itself, like the Tor browser, is not illegal. In fact, it's used by journalists, activists, and regular people in countries with oppressive regimes to communicate safely. But because it offers such powerful anonymity, it's also used for all sorts of illegal activities. The platform itself is neutral. What people do on it is not. So why does any of this matter to you? Because understanding these different layers isn't just internet trivia. It's actually fundamental to your own digital safety. Knowing the difference between these webs protects you from misinformation and, frankly, a lot of unnecessary fear.
Let's just break it all down one last time. This chart gives us a great side-by-side. You've got the surface web. Anyone can access it, it's indexed, and it's for public info. Then there's the deep web. You need a login, it's not indexed, and it's all about privacy. Next, the dark web. You need special tools like Tor or I2P. It's not indexed, its legality is mixed, and its purpose is anonymity. And finally, you have intranets, which are basically private networks used inside a company for their own operations.
So if you remember anything from all this, let it be these three things. First, not everything that's hidden online is bad or illegal. Second, wanting privacy does not mean you're a criminal. And finally, just having this knowledge is your single best defense against making mistakes and falling for the myths that are all over the internet. At the end of the day, the internet isn't just one thing. It's this really complex, layered ecosystem. The surface web is there to inform us, the deep web is there to protect us, and the dark web is there to anonymize us. And understanding that difference, well, that's what it really means to be a smarter, safer digital citizen.